Hi guys, it's Alechaman here again. Well, today guys, I have a really good story for y'all. This is a story of actually a family member from Mexico. Um, it's a decently sized one, so I hope you guys enjoy. The story takes place in Mexico, in the state of Hidalgo, where my family is from. It's also not told from my point of view, but instead of my 17-year-old cousin, who had an encounter with a local cartel gang. This is the story of a short encounter with them. I live in a small town of the state of Hidalgo, but my family name is well known across our area, mostly because my uncle is the mayor of the city over, which is heavily populated, so his name is well known for both bad and good. You have to also understand that even though me and him are not very close, our very name can be dangerous if told to the wrong person. So with that, we start with the day I almost lost my life. I begin walking to school like I always have, and I do the same thing I do every morning. My mom makes me some food, just some scrambled eggs with tortillas, and I began my 30-minute walk to school. It was a pretty uneventful trip. The only thing I noticed out of the ordinary was a nice looking black truck sitting a few houses down from mine as I walked by it. I noticed a couple inside. The weird thing was, the driver was just staring at me. A little creepy, but I didn't think much of it. School was boring like always, and I just hung out with the friends I always do. And like always, they made fun of me because my uncle was, well, they say he's with the cartels, and he only builds roads in places where it would make their travels easier. Also, I'll have to note that the mayors in Mexico are not like in the US. He has the power to build roads in his provinces that consist of the neighboring small towns and the mountains to the southeast of the city, so he can build roads and schools as he sees fit. Honestly, the tension from all this gets annoying. Even though I know my friends are just kidding, there's truth behind their words. As I left school, I walked home with a friend. He was just blabbering about some girl he was in love with. You know, typical teenage shit. That's when I noticed the same truck from the morning, but this time the girl was not in the car with him. Instead, in her place was 3 other guys. They followed close behind, and I started to get paranoid. I told my friend to get ready to run, and he thought I was joking, but then he saw my face, stern and pale. He knew I wasn't kidding. The truck sped up, and that moment I told him, "Corre! Run!" Our asses ran as fast as we could, but it was a straight open road, and open fields to our left and right. We just tried to dart to the nearest house, but the truck was on us. We didn't even get 10 feet when I saw it roar past us and stop in the middle of the road in front of us. 3 men got out with guns. One of them raised one, and I closed my eyes. Pop, pop! 2 shots, and I was sure I was hit. When I opened my eyes, I was amazed I didn't even have a scratch on me. But I looked to my left, and there lay my friend in a pool of blood. I tried to scream, but with the horror of it all, I couldn't. That's when they reached for me, and 3 of them grabbed me without saying a word. They put a bag over my head, and then I felt a loud pop, and I was out. When I woke up, I had a bag off my head, and I was in some strange house. I heard whispers in the room, and my head was throbbing. I couldn't even think. I sat there by myself for what seemed like hours, the whole time thinking about my friend and how his family would react. Fuck. I shot him. He's really dead, I kept murmuring to myself. I heard the door open. A guy walks in. He tells me that my uncle didn't listen, and he chose the wrong side. And they gave him 24 hours to decide. 24 hours? What would happen in 24 hours if they didn't comply? I thought to myself. They brought water and even fed me a meal. I honestly couldn't even eat. That night, they said they would let me loose in the room, but would keep it under lock and I could sleep in the bed. The room had no windows and 2 doors. One led to the bathroom, the other, I guess, to the rest of the house. I tried the door several times, but it was locked, so I eventually gave up and laid in the bed. As I laid there, I wondered how many others have slept here as a hostage, and what were their fates. I didn't even feel when I fell asleep. I guess with a sore head and all that was going on, I was wore out. I woke to a man shaking me and telling me, "Hey, it's time to go." Once again, they put a bag over my head and led me to the truck. The road was bumpy, and as soon as I had the courage, I asked out loud, "Where are we going?" Nothing. Silence. I asked again, "Where are we going?" I said a little more defiant, but still quiet in a way. Nothing. I got scared not knowing what was going on, and that's when I heard one of them say, "Hey, turn here and pull over." I heard the tires go from pavement to what sounded like rocks underneath the tires. Then the truck came to a full stop. Once again, I was grabbed and pulled. I walked maybe 20 feet, then I felt it. It was almost like a burning sharp sensation. Then I felt it again and again. By this time I knew what was going on. The whole time I was fighting, but my mind was in shock of what was going on. I was being stabbed. I felt 6 stabs. And then I was thrown to the floor and I heard pop, pop. And all the pain. I didn't even feel the shots, but I knew I'd been hit. I lay there bleeding, unable to see with the hood on my head. The thoughts of my parents finding out their boy died in the middle of nowhere crossed my mind. The fact that I hadn't even fallen in love yet crossed it too. I felt the very life of mine draining. I heard them peel away, and it was just me with my hands tied and a hood on my head. I knew if I stayed here I would die. I needed to get to the pavement of the road. And maybe someone would find me. But I could already feel the darkness creeping up on me. I remember hearing the tires peeling away not too far, so I crawled however I could towards what I hoped was the road. I felt the rocks scratching me and the blood soaking my clothes. I kept crawling. I got maybe 15 feet and I felt weak. I kept telling myself, come on, keep going. I kept going and I felt the darkness sweeping over me. I just kept saying one more, just one more push. My mind was fading. I could feel it. But I still felt the rocks. And I just gave up. I said my final prayers, closed my eyes under the hood. Bye, Mom. Bye, Dad. I love you, is the last thing I remember telling myself. When I woke, I was in the hospital. I saw my dad asleep in the chair next to me, but everything was blurry. I tried to speak, but I ended up coughing like a dying man. My dad woke and told me everything was okay and not to talk and rest. He didn't need to tell me twice. I fell asleep again. When I woke, there was a doctor talking to my dad about nothing in particular. I was in the hospital maybe a week before I was discharged. I found out that my uncle ignored his pleas of doing whatever they wanted. He even threw my dad out of his house by his personal bodyguards. I lived with 6 stab wounds, 1 gunshot wound. I don't know if it was luck or a higher power looking over me, but the second shot, it never hit. To my uncle, may you rot in hell. Hi guys. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this story. It's a partially true story. Some of the details I added in, but for the most part, it was a partially true story. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed it. This was actually my own personal writing, and if y'all like this and y'all want me to keep writing things like this, y'all let me know. I have a few more other stories I could probably tell. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Let's try to get myself popular out here. No, but in all seriousness, I enjoy writing and I enjoyed reading this out, so I hope y'all enjoyed as much as I do. Alright, well, with that, I'll let you man signing off.